Philosopher. No BS legal takes. Real discipline. Zero ego. You'll get sharp opinions on court rulings, law, enforcement overreach, and how to protect your rights. He teaches you how to control your body, your mind, and your future. Discipline equals freedom. Follow Michael Ehline before he hits 10K. Real content. No filters. Marine. Fighter. Attorney. Follow now.
If you're not working out, drop and give me 20 right freaking now. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm attorney Michael Ehline. Good to see you. That's my buddy History Viper. He helped me make that cool video. Still a little bit too early for me, but I've got a busy day as usual. I'm a practicing attorney. I practice law in California and Texas. Is where I'm licensed, or where I have my bar membership. For all you people who think that I'm part of the British accreditation registry or whatever, and I've got a couple of minutes to bring to you the continuing saga of Wes Watson as dictated by Jon Bravo Films. So make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe to Jon Bravo Films. Super, super great channel. He's got a great channel, and I provided the links in my bio to his channel. That is Jon Bravo right there. And so for those of you who don't know who Wes Watson is, he's a prison influencer, a guy who got out of prison and made a bunch of money selling, I guess, workout programs and trying to motivate people, because I guess he did 10 years in prison, and that's his claim to fame. But he doesn't seem to have lost the prison mentality. So I'm just going to give you a quick little sort of understanding of who this guy is and what he's all about really quick, as dictated by Jon Bravo. Here we go.
On one side, you got Pegged Watson, that three-haired munchkin conehead piece of shit, right? Lying about his height, doing everything he can to lie about it on one side. And then on the other side, you got Eric Kanevsky, the man, like I said, he walks around with the fucking scale and tape measure in his hand, going up to people. So if you think about it, what a great idea. Eric goes down to Miami, bring your little tape measure with you, go up to Wes and measure him. And how bad could it possibly be, right? So it didn't really go as planned, and now I'm going to show you. Now first, I want you guys to get a scope of what happened before I tell you the story, because the story's going to make you laugh. But before I tell you the story, here's a clip, a little one, and then I'll show you the full one of what happened when Eric went down there.
Jesus fucking Christ! Look at this stud over here. Dude, suck my dick, bro. Why? What's your name, man? My name is Wes. Actually, WW Dago. All the motherfuckers know that's Wes Watson from San Diego. I can't talk to this straight up stud over here. I made a story yesterday. I don't want to.
So Eric saw a story a couple months ago, right? Wes Watson made a story about Eric, saying he watched his videos, he thought he was funny. Usually he's not a fan of this type of stuff, but he thought it was great, that he was a fan. If he sees him, he'll shake his hand.
Hey,
so Eric thought Wes liked him.
I don't really watch spoof videos about me, but that one was fucking funny. If I saw that guy in person, I'd be like, dude, you are classic. Like, I really thought it was going to piss me off, and I liked the guy after seeing that one. I'm just saying, he was hilarious.
And then, a few days before Eric decided to go to Miami, he saw another story on Wes's bullshit Instagram, because he doesn't shut up all day. He puts his whole life on there like a little woman. And he put up a story saying, hey, you know, I'm tired of all this 5'8" bullshit. If you guys want to come down to the gym and measure me.
Craziest thing is that everybody's so fixated on this.
Yeah, and so the videos that we cover the last couple of days have to do with him telling people to pull up on him at the gym and let's fight. And so the case against Wes Watson right now is the 7-foot tall black dude shows up, apparently a guy with special needs. So he's not all there, apparently. Pulls up, and then the allegations are that Wes and his buddies rat packed this dude. And I saw the video, and it sure does seem to conform and comport to what the video shows, that this guy was rat packed. I guess he was hit with dumbbells. He was kicked while he was on the ground. And now the guy's suing Wes. And this is just to give you a little bit of a foundation of who Wes is, so you kind of can understand where I'm coming from here.
The biggest fairy that you know that swears I'm not 6 foot, he's probably not even 6 foot. Have him come to where I go to the gym and we'll just do a friendly stand by each other and take a picture. Get as many people as you can that are 5'8". Have them come stand next to me, take a picture, and just document it. I'm 6 foot, but I'm just going to play into your guys' game because this is one of the most friendly things you guys have ever said about me is that I'm short. So it's kind of like, you guys think you're hating on me, but it's kind of nice that you're just saying I'm short and you're wrong. Because a lot of the other stuff you say about me is pretty fucked up.
So Eric saw that story. He said, you know what? This asshole must be talking about me. He knows I do this shit, inviting people to come. I know he likes me. I know he wants to shake because he got a little hand. I don't even know how much of a handshake he's going to do with Eric. He's going to shake my hand. He's a fan. How bad can it be? Now, let's get into what happened that day. So that morning, Wes and his cronies or goons or assholes that he's hanging around with, the clones of him, they all decide they were going that morning to actually film a video. So that's probably why Wes was wearing heels that day, because he wants to appear taller in his video. So we know most of these guys because we've seen them in the videos with Wes, right? In the fight videos, we've seen them. But two of them we know very, very well. This one is the fat pig. Remember I called him the fat pig? He's the one who went in there and he threw that kick at the monster on the ground and he wouldn't stop talking shit. Well, I was thinking and I was looking at his face and I'm like, what does he remind me of? And you know who he looks like, this asshole? He looks like Freddy Krueger if he was a train. His face reminds me of that. So tonight when I'm trying to sleep, I might be having nightmares on Elm Street because I'm going to be thinking about this asshole's face. And then we got the Chinese Fu Manchu Mafia, man. The guy, remember, we know him very well for having that dumbbell in his hand when he was trying to hit the monster with it. Now this asshole, you know who I first thought it was when I first saw him? You guys remember Joe Son? That UFC guy got punched in the balls 20 times, right? Lost the use of his balls. And then
I remember this guy. So when I used to live in Huntington Beach, he used to train over at the Powerhouse Gym. And I guess he worked with a couple of guys in the original UFC fights. But this guy's hilarious, man. Give me a bunch of ones for Jon Bravo. I'm just trying to lay a foundation so you can see the alleged violent propensities of Wes Watson and how he flies off the handle.
And he was in this movie with Austin Powers. Well, I saw him with the shoe in his hand, and it reminded me of this asshole. But I remembered something, too, about Joe Son. Do you know where he is now? He's in prison for life for doing naughty, freaky things to women, right? And now he's getting pegged, just like Wes is. So now Eric shows up with Tanner, his cameraman, and his other buddy, and they walk in to try to measure the munchkin.
Hey, Josephine.
Jesus Christ. Look at this stud over here.
Dude, suck my dick for the fuck out of here.
Why?
What's your name, man?
My name is Wes. Actually, WW Dago. All the motherfuckers know that's Wes Watson from San Diego. I can't talk to this straight up stud over here. I made a story yesterday.
I don't want it. I don't want it. You trying to fucking live off my name. Hey, am I 5'8"? Am I 5'8"? Get the fuck out of here.
That's what I want to find out.
Get out of here, yo.
So now notice, Eric didn't even get to bring up his height, and automatically the insecure bitch has to bring up the height, right? And then he also says, hey, you're trying to make money off my name. Well, Wes, I hate to break it to you, but poor Eric, he's only made a couple videos on you. Maybe he made $250, right? But if you want to talk about somebody who's making money off your name, I got to thank you very much because I'm probably the one who's made the most. Yeah. And then you have the pig, the Freddy Krueger, the tranny-faced looking motherfucker, opening his mouth again on Eric saying, I'm gonna murk you. I'm gonna kill you.
I will murk your bitch ass, yo.
For what?
Because you acting like a bitch, come up here starting problems.
You made a story yesterday.
I don't know who you are. Get out of here. Go. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here, yo. Please go tell me that I'm not going to take your chain off your neck, bitch. It's not even a real chain. He's broke.
Meantime, Erica's sitting back. He's like, what the hell's going on? I didn't even say anything. Why am I getting threatened for my life by these assholes? Which, by the way, I would love to see if they have such big mouths when they're all by themselves. It seems like together they're all big men, but I'd love to see them alone. And then the best one, the Chinese Fu Manchu, gangster, mafia man, right, Joe San? He comes around and he sees the camera in the cameraman's hand. He's like, you know what? I'm not letting this happen like last time. I'm going to make sure I smash this camera. So he goes and he tries to take the camera and smash it. And then he makes threats. And we all know what kind of tough guy this is. He walks around with that dumbbell and a shoe in his hand because he's so tough, right? We all remember it real well.
Chill, bro. Chill. 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 Chill.
Yo, man, we didn't come here for that. We came here to make really good. It ain't like that.
Okay, so that's called a battery, by the way. And because the guy he called the guy that John calls Fu Manchu grabbed the camera, even though it's not physically touching the guy who holds the camera, it's still a battery, and that could be considered a crime or a misdemeanor in Texas or California. Now, I'm not a lawyer in Florida, so anything that I tell you is only going to be based on my understanding of the law as it exists presently in Texas or California. But anyways, because the guy is part of Wes's crew, that crime or personal injury, tort offense, could be attributed back to Wes under the concept of a principle of vicarious liability, where the slave is liable for the crimes or torts of his master. So because I don't have a lot of time, I just wanted to kind of show you the propensities of these guys to continue engaging in the same conduct that led up to this incident. And we're going to go ahead and let Jon Bravo tell you what's going on. It's only like 8 minutes. I'm not going to be on very long today, guys. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and share this with all your friends. I'll try to make some shorts out of this. Make sure to go to, please, guys, I asked you yesterday. I didn't see anybody do it. I'm asking you as a favor. I'm not even asking you for a super chat or for a membership subscription, which would be wonderful if you bought some paid memberships or bought a copy of my book. I'm not even asking you for that. Go to Jon Bravo's channel and leave some comments on these videos. The link is in the bio to his videos, and say Mike Ehline over at the Ask Michael Ehline channel wanted us to come and subscribe, and thank you for letting him share your wonderful content, because as a lawyer, this helps me teach you guys what not to do and what the consequences are for your actions. And right now, we're going to talk about forfeiture. In some of my other videos, I talked about civil asset forfeiture, which is where the government will come and take stuff from you because they think that it may have been used in some kind of a crime. Well, they'll take your money because 90% of money has drug residue on it. So they'll bring out a drug sniffing dog if you have a big load of money. They'll take the money and then they'll split it with the Department of Justice to make their police departments more wealthy, increase salaries, buy better cruisers for the police department, make the sheriff or the mayor or whatever look better. But in this case, this is a case where if a defendant in a civil case or in a criminal case, but typically in a civil case, fails to appear, the judge will then issue an order to seize assets and issue a default judgment against the defendant in a civil case. And typically, because courts favor a trial or a hearing on the merits of the claim, even if they've seized assets, if the defendant makes an appearance and they have a decent enough attorney, those assets can be unfrozen. But when you are a fugitive from justice, you basically give up your rights. And so it's called the fugitive disentitlement doctrine. Anyways, let's get into it.
You guys have seen the video that I put out showing you how the 7-foot monster is coming after Wes Watson, that piece of shit, his butt buddies, and that fucked up Jim with the smiley worker.
What's up, Let's?
How he's coming after them to take everything that they fucking own in a civil suit, right? Well, just one day later, today, you're not going to believe what I'm going to show you. I mean, listen, If you're a smart person, let me ask you this question in life first. If you're a smart person, right, you got a big civil case coming, you got a criminal case coming, right? And there's millions of dollars involved here, right?
I'm going to push this forward a little bit because I just don't have a lot of time.
Email, even
right about here.
Wes Watson, of course, he's so smart. He didn't respond to any of it. And now, you know, what's going to happen to him? The judge just did it to him today.
Let's go. I want to push it forward because, guys, I don't have a lot of time. I've got a deposition coming up in a few minutes.
Wait until I show.
Hold on. Right about here.
Would still be richer than all you motherfuckers. Like, I don't go broke. I wasn't even broke in prison. Like, I would just have to, if it ever happened, I would change my lifestyle a little bit and be back up in 6 fucking months.
So now, let me show you how stupid this fuck is. So this document you're seeing right here is the team of the 7-foot monster sending it to the court saying, hey, listen.
He's not here. I thought he was. I saw OTVO.
We went to his house. We sent him shit in the mail. We emailed it to him. And he's ignoring us. So they're requesting a default judgment.
Yeah, that's right.
And I highlighted some things here. Let me go over it. March 26th, plaintiff complaint was filed. On April 9th, 2025, plaintiff served defendant Wesley Watson with the complaint. Remember, that's when the lady, she went to his house, she knocked on the door, he opened it up. She saw he's a 5'8" nothing and served his ass. Then, on May 15, 2025, plaintiff filed a motion for clerk's default. That's because he wasn't responding to anything, all right? Defendant Wesley Watson has not answered plaintiff's complaint, nor has the defendant otherwise responded, appeared, or defended this action. Defendant has not filed any paper in this action, and the deadline for defendant Wesley Watson to respond has passed. Plaintiff has included a form for clerk's default to this motion. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully moves the entry of the clerk's default against defendant Wesley Watson. So that's the notice that they sent to the court. They said, listen, this asshole's not responding. We want to...
And just so you guys know, allegedly, Wes is worth like $20 million. You would think that he would have been able to hire a lawyer to defend him and then obviously file an answer. And so in California or Texas, the proper procedure would be, well, there's several ways you can deal with it, okay? One is to file a demur where you're contesting jurisdiction. It's basically like what? That's really what a demur is. You're basically saying what? And it's almost like you don't understand the nature or cause of the action against you. Another way would be to handle it on a summary judgment motion where you say there's no evidence that supports these claims, and then you file a summary judgment motion. It's very, very lengthy. I think that because he would be approaching as a defendant, he would be trying to knock out certain causes of action or the entire case. And then if you're a plaintiff in a defendant files an answer and you don't like the answer, you can move for summary adjudication on defenses. So both parties can do it, but in this case, the answering party typically files an answer where they make general and specific denials to each cause of action in the complaint. Well, in this case, Wes didn't even bother responding. And so what was the response? Well, there's a pretty damn good plaintiff's lawyer. He knew what he was doing, and he got a default judgment, basically, and the judge went for it. And that gives him the ability to start moving towards seizing Wes's assets, which is pretty extreme, okay? Because again, courts do favor a hearing on the merits. This isn't communist China, at least if you're not in communist California, right? Or one of the blue states, you still do have some free speech rights, and you do have the right to disagree with the government's science and stuff like that, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it.
Default in our favor. So now let me show you the default that was just signed today. If you guys take a look here, it says June 4th, and it says, a default is hereby entered in this action against the defendant Wesley Watson. What a stupid fucker. Named in the foregoing motion for failure to serve or file any paper as required by law. So this means the judge just gave the plaintiffs a default judgment, and this asshole loses the case without even going to court. So now there's going to probably be another hearing. And how are they going to get the money that they're requesting? They're going to go after his wages, bank accounts, anything that he owns, right? He's fucked this asshole. So you would think about it like, I can't think of a reason.
Well, not necessarily. He can still appear and seek relief from default, but the courts don't like it because it shows that this guy is basically, for lack of a better word, a fugitive from justice. Not necessarily, it's not a crime, but it has a similar effect where it shows that he's basically like a scofflaw. Judges don't like it. It's a lot of paperwork. Paying someone from the plaintiff's perspective to go and do an asset search, find everything, and do what they call asset tracing is extremely expensive. And typically, because I've done this before, the plaintiff will, strike that. The defendant will seek asset protection under bankruptcy laws, and then you get another court involved, the bankruptcy court, and then you've got to go back and forth with the civil court. Civil court typically freezes the proceedings. It just becomes a nightmare. So the proper approach for Wes in this case would be to seek relief from default.
At all as to why he wouldn't even bother responding. I was thinking at first, I was like, maybe he didn't want to go to court because in civil court, they're going to start showing all his assets, what he owns, what he doesn't own. Maybe he doesn't want to be embarrassed when all that stuff shows out in public. But I still can't understand to not respond at all to this. So I spoke about this before.
Yeah.
This is not a funny story to me. This is a sad story. This is a man with one big fucking mouth, but he could have used that big mouth for good. Instead, he used it to scam, causing massive hate online and trolls to harass the shit out of his life. And in the end, because he's trying to keep up with this tough guy image, which we know.
Now, whether or not Wes used his persona and all this stuff to scam people would be a question of fact and law. And so me personally, I'm going to have to disclaim that statement because I don't have enough evidence to support that. And obviously, because I do defamation law, I understand that you need to issue a retraction. So I'm just reporting the news, guys. I don't join in that statement because I don't have enough evidence. However, I've seen a lot of videos where people have joined Wes's course, and it looks like if these videos are true, people will pay money and then they'll try to show up for these online Zoom meetings where you can learn about fitness and nutrition. And a lot of times these people are no-shows. And I would assume that those guys that follow Wes around that allegedly helped assist in this attack the other day or a couple months ago are the ones running the show. And that would make sense. And that's why I always go out of my way when I hire people. I'll walk, like I've told you this before, I'll walk over 20 college grads to hire an inactive United States Marine because discipline equals freedom. And you can say that we're stupid or you can say that we're dumb, but I know that I could take one Marine who's been in a combat tour or just even an admin Marine who's never been in combat and put him in my law firm, and I can train him to be better than the best trial lawyer in the country. Why? Because they're moldable. They know how to follow orders. They don't talk back. They understand the chain of command. And so when you surround yourself with doldrums and idiots, you're going to get an idiotic result. I mean, when I've hired kids that graduated from college or law school, they don't know proper grammar. They don't know how to spell. And I think that ChatGPT and AI is their go-to. And we know that these law professors in these public schools, they want everyone to get a trophy, right? So they just graduate you because, especially colleges, because they want to get more government money. And that's why I'm a big supporter of Doge. And I think that less government means more freedom and more intelligence as well. But other than that, man, I really like Johnny Bravo's videos, man, and he's doing a great breakdown. Let's keep listening.
He's very weak inside, even the way this incident went down with his friends and weapons. He couldn't handle it like a man would, right? He handled it in a way that we're seeing now destroyed his life. Not only is he going to lose everything, because it's a default judgment now, right?
Well,
so all his money is going to be fucked. But
again, you can seek relief from default, but what Johnny is saying is true. If Wes doesn't reappear and try to seek relief from default, he's in real trouble. And I'm pretty sure that he did ultimately seek relief from default. We'll go. I think he was in lockup though at the time. That could be why he wasn't able to seek relief from default, because he was arrested. So there's probably there's more probably in Wes's defense. There's probably more to the story. And if you can have excusable neglect, like, hey, I was locked up and I couldn't hire an attorney, that would probably be sufficient to get the relief from default.
Prison. He has criminal case coming up. So this is a man that let everything get to him. All the hate, all the trolls online trying to show this tough guy image that he never was. And in the end, he let it destroy his fucking life.
I won't ever tap. I don't care if I have 10 billion trolls. I don't care if everybody on the planet hated me. I would still show up online. It's just, I can't quit. How the fuck do you guys quit? How are you so low in your own view of self that you actually let people see you quit? So it's actually very high frequency. It's an act of self-love. When people actually engage in negativity towards you and you punk the shit out of them, it is a form of self-love. It is very high frequency. I always say something back and I always pat myself.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys, it's not a form of self-love to insult people and put them down. Okay. I'm just telling you from someone who had a dad who was a Marine combat vet. He was pretty sarcastic. He was a great guy. Don't get me wrong. I love my dad. He passed away from Agent Orange from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma from the war. But I'm telling you right now, when you constantly insult people and cajole them, that is not love. That is somebody who's very insecure for whatever reason. And in this case, it could be that Wes was abused in prison and he's suffering from PTSD, whatever the reason might be. But Wes, I'm telling you right now, brother, that is not love. Putting people down, having insecurities about only being 5'3" or however tall you are and putting shoe lifts in is not a sign of self-love. It's a sign of insecurity. Let's keep going.
Self on the back. And so does God too. He goes, oh, you motherfucker, you don't let nobody slide. I love you. You ain't gonna let them slide on that bullshit. All these pussies out here, put them in their place, Wes. Put them in their fucking place. That's what God tells me every day. And guess what? I'm gonna do it every day. I would do it for free. I love it.
Well, I don't know what God he's talking about. That sounds more like Lucifer to me, the God of this world. You don't tell people they're pussies and wimps and put them down and insult them. You try to build people up, guys. And that's part of the thing that I try to do with my channel is you don't have to insult people to try to make yourself look better. In fact, I was having a conversation with another lawyer who's a colleague of mine. And, he mentioned that he made a couple of errors in some of his judgments on the law online. And he was immediately attacked by these losers. I think you know who they are. One of them, I guess, used to manage a storage facility. And he was lucky enough to pass the bar. But he's a total a-hole. And you don't build people up by putting them down. And if you make a mistake, you just say, hey, look, I made a mistake. Law is not a science. It's an art. And people make mistakes in science as well. So life in general is a learning process. And I'm hoping that, but I doubt it, that Lane can learn a lesson from this. Let's keep watching.
Question for Angie. Do you enjoy a little Wes 2-inch weenie? Yes, because it's not 2 inches, but awesome. You guys can use this for some shit. You guys can use it for what? Just keep making me famous. I'm going to drop an OnlyFans with my huge dick on it so that you guys can just buy it and all these dudes can be like, oh shit, it's not really 2 inches. And you guys would buy it. That's the crazy thing. Grown men talking about other grown men's dicks. It's so weird. Like, literally, like it's the craziest thing. I love it. I love the 5'8". I love the small dick shit. It's so fucking awesome.
Well, we saw the other day that based on the police arrest reports where they book you and they measure your height, that he's about 5'8". And he constantly talks about how he's 6 foot. He's very insecure about his height. Look, I'm not a tall guy, but look, I can make up for my height by putting more than enough rounds down range to eliminate any target that messes with me. And I'm not a felon, so I do have the right to keep and bear arms. I'm not a violent felon. And hopefully me and my Second Amendment friends are going to help you other felons who are convicted of nonviolent crimes get your Second Amendment rights back as well. But in any event, guys, that's really the show for this morning. I'm going to keep covering the Wes Watson case more than anything because I want to show you how not to act. And a lot of this intersects with the Lane Myers case. Remember, guys, whenever you're facing the police, or you go into a court, you want to act with civility. Okay, that's the number one thing that I can teach you. This is the teachable moment here. Take a yellow pad with you. If somebody says something on the other side that you disagree with, do not cut them off. Write it down. And then if the judge tries to cut you off when you have your say, you say, I object, Your Honor. This court is refusing to allow me to make a record in prosecution or defense of my claim. And I strongly object to this. And then you follow up with written objections with the demand that the court rule on those objections. And then you can seek a writ of mandate or a writ of prohibition, a writ of mandate mandating that the court rule on those objections. So you create a record that you tried to defend your rights. You don't cut people off. You don't insult the judge. You don't swear and curse in court. And you do it for a lot of reasons. One of them is because obviously you want to act with proper decorum so the judge doesn't think you're a nut job and agree with the prosecution, even psychologically, because judges are humans too. And the other reason is that you don't want to poison a jury, because if a jury ever sees you behaving like this, you're not going to win your case. They're going to think, this guy's a crazy person. I want to lock this guy up too. I hate him too. So everything that Wes is doing is wrong. There were many things that Lane did that were wrong as well. Many things that Chili did that were wrong. The one thing I really appreciate about Chili DeCastro over at Delete Laws, please make sure to like and subscribe to Delete Laws, is that Chili has a very high IQ and he learns from his mistakes. But I don't see Wes Watson learning from any of his mistakes. So again, you don't want to poison yourself. And the next thing is, if you go into court during a plea bargain or during a hearing and the other side hears the way you behave, and that's why you want to remain silent, sees your demeanor, they're going to know, oh man, I can't wait to get this case to trial. This guy is going to win the case for me. So good seeing you, CMM. And yeah, CMM, being tall isn't, I don't know, I guess because society is so materialistic and so fake nowadays, I guess being tall is a big deal. But strength of mind is really what matters, and having confidence is really what matters. I've never had a problem getting chicks ever. I'm married now, but I've never been a tall guy. I've always been very confident and sure of myself. And I've been in martial arts since I was a little kid, started judo when I was like 6. So I learned discipline and I learned confidence and I learned how to defeat larger opponents. And so I think that at the end of the day, I think what a real woman wants is a man who's going to provide comfort, protection, and security for her. So she'll be able to produce offspring and be able to provide the matronly love for her offspring. So some maid or some blue-haired mafia public school teacher isn't brainwashing and politically destroying their children. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. And yeah, CMM, it's just common sense. I mean, I think that most real women don't care about any of that stuff. I think that most real women just want to have what God wants for us, which is to be courteous, considerate, and kind to others, and for the man to take a leadership role and provide that protection and comfort so she can flourish with her biological propensities and her biological gifts to reproduce and provide that love and comfort for a family. Having kids really, really, really makes a man want to be able to provide, and it makes him more successful. In fact, studies have been done that men who have children and stay in a married family make a lot more income and they're a lot happier and they live a lot longer lives. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to hit the road. I got to get to work. But I am attorney Michael Ehline. I'm an attorney licensed in California and Texas. I primarily do catastrophic injury cases. If you want to help support my channel, go to my YouTube channel and click on the description, and you can pick up a copy of my book. Hold on. You can pick up a copy of my ebook, the digital version of this book. The soft cover is not available yet. My Journey to Becoming a Practicing Lawyer with No Law Degree or Undergrad, where I take you on my journey of how I became a lawyer on the law study program, which is the program that the Kim Kardashian is on. She just got her certificate of completion from that program, and now she's eligible to take the California State Bar exam, which, bar none, is the single most difficult bar exam in the nation. So that's a major achievement for anyone, especially if you don't have that formal legal training. But the Marine Corps discipline that I have enabled me to study and prepare for that exam. And I'll take you on my journey. So for those of you who don't have the financial ability or just don't want to go to some communist Marxist re-education camp, want to learn how to become a lawyer, you can do it too. And so it's more inspirational than anything else. And then again, picking up memberships, subscription memberships, paid memberships. It's like a dollar or $2 or whatever a month. Pick them up, and I'll do some back channel presentations for you to help you guys understand contracts, torts, and criminal law and the basics, and as well as civility and the other things that you need to do to be successful, not just as a lawyer, but as a human being. So with that being said, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you, Mr. Osgood. Thank you, Tina's. Thank you, Day. Thank you, Kurt Bronson, for joining me this early in the morning. Quanah Parker, as always. What's the matter, you? Kurt Bronson. All my friends who've helped me build my channel to almost 60,000 subscribers in about a year. Guys, make sure to always like and subscribe. Make sure to go to Johnny Bravo's channel. There's a link in the bio, and thank him for allowing me to share his videos and allow me to overlay them with my insight as an attorney. And hopefully Johnny and all you other guys can learn from me as well, a little bit about the law and how to protect yourselves online and in the real world so you don't have problems and don't end up with a reputation like Wes Watson. So again, with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down